What is up, everyone? Boschee here, back at it in Raid Shadow Legends, and today we have some awesome news for you guys. So first off, we have a Fragment Summon coming up on Thursday. We'll go ahead and go through that champion and its kit, and I'll kind of give my opinion on if I think you guys should be going for it. But we also have some news on patch 3.2. So we don't have an official date for this patch yet, but we do know it's going to include two major things that everyone's been waiting for. So the first thing is champion collection storage will be expanded from 200 to 300. Yep, so that is your main area right here. You'll be able to get 100 extra champion slots. Yes, you will definitely have to pay with gems or silver, just like normal. This was kind of expected as we haven't seen anything like that change recently. So yes, you will have to purchase the slots, but you will be able to get up to 100 extra slots possible. I think a lot of people will be happy with this, and I think it's a great change. Next is the artifact and accessory storage. So currently we can have 700 of each of those. Well, this is actually being expanded from 700 to 1,000. Yes, 1,000. When I heard about this change, I definitely thought they were going to do like an extra 100 slots or 150, but adding 300 extra slots is, in my opinion, huge, and I think this is going to make a lot of people happy. But yeah, so this is actually going to be coming in 3.2. Like I said, we don't have an official date for that yet. I'll definitely keep you guys updated if I hear anything about it. But I also do recommend you guys joining the Raid Discord, just because those types of announcements where like when patches are going to go live, they typically do in the announcement channel, and it's for everyone to see. And plus, the Discord has a lot of helpful channels if you're stuck on your account or if you are needing some type of guidance and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend joining the Raid Discord. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this Fragment Summon. So this Fragment Summon, um, I'll give a little bit of background on it, but his name is Iron Brago, or Brago. I'm gonna go with Brago, Iron Brago. But yeah, he is an orc type champion with the role of defense, and he is a spirit affinity champion. Now I'll go ahead and throw his model up on the screen in just a second, but I kind of wanted to go through his background of why I guess he is being put into the game. So from what we've been told, the Orc faction is lacking a lot of defense role champions, and this champion is actually aimed to help during the faction crypts area of the game. So if you go in the index and go ahead and check the Orc faction, you can actually really, they aren't lying. They are lacking defense champions. There are no defensive type champions in the legendary column. There's only one defense champion in the epic column, which is Sandlash Survivor. Really good champion though, so yeah. And then you have one defense champion in the rare slot of Veteran, and then you have a common that's in defense. So definitely lacking defensive type champions. So this is going to be the first defensive legendary champion for orcs. But yeah, and his kit is, I guess, supposed to be helping faction crypts. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump through his kit. I'll throw the model up now. And I'll put everything up on the screen. I'll be looking at my notes over to my second monitor. But yeah, I'll put everything up on the screen for you guys kind of read through yourselves, and yeah, I'll give my opinion. So first off, we have his A1, which is Molten Pummeling. Attack one enemy, has a 20% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs by one turn. So this is a pretty basic A1. I do like the decrease of duration of all buffs. In where he's aimed to be, which is faction crypts, this could actually be really major. So you could look at the Valkyrie waves or something like that, where you can lower the duration of the shield or the counterattack. So yeah, this could be really big. The 20% chance is kind of low. I do expect them to have books to heighten that, but I highly doubt it's going to go much higher. My guess would be maybe 30 or 40% chance. But yeah, overall not a bad A1, but not anything groundbreaking. Then you have the A2, Fearless Charge. So place a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 3 turns, then attacks one enemy. Has a 75% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn, has a 75% chance of placing a stun debuff for 2 turns instead if the target is under 2 or more buffs. and this is on a 4-turn cooldown. So first off, I love this ability. So you're going to get an increased defense, the big version of it, on a 3-turn or for 3 turns, and this is a 4-turn cooldown. So I definitely don't expect any books to lower the cooldown of this ability. If they do, then you might be able to actually keep this up 100% of the time, which is ridiculous. And then I like the fact that you can target a champion to stun. I'd imagine the books are going to increase that 75% chance to 100% chance. It is a little counteractive with the A1. As the A1, you kind of want to slowly strip buffs off of people by lowering the duration. But then you are looking at doing a guaranteed 2-turn stun if they have 2 or more buffs. So a little bit counteractive with each other, but overall not a bad ability whatsoever. You can target a stun on a champion that you maybe don't want the ability to go off, or a hard-hitting champion, or a healer, and then also put that increased defense on everyone. So really big ability. I actually really like that ability a lot. And then you have the A3, Battle Storm. Attack all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. Also places a 50% decrease attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns if Iron Brago is under an increased defense buff, and this is a 4-turn cooldown. Once again, really awesome ability. I'd imagine his AI is going to prioritize his A2 over his A3 just to make sure you have that increased defense. But yeah, a 50% chance to land a AoE provoke. I highly doubt they're going to up the chance on that with books, but you never know. But also note that the 50% decrease attack is just placed. It doesn't have a percentage of being placed. So as long as you have that increased defense, you're going to guarantee that decrease attack at least from this A3 attack. And it's the 4-turn cooldown isn't too bad. But yeah, overall, I think this is a really good ability. I think if they're going to leave that provoke on a 50% chance, they could have done a 2-turn debuff provoke, but it could have been possibly too strong. But yeah, overall, you're going to have an increased defense, and you're going to have a decreased attack with this guy's kit. So all in all, so far, really good kit. And then you have a passive. Increase the defense of all allies by 10% of this champion's defense. Defense champion, gonna have a lot of defense, so sharing 10% of that with everyone else's defense on your team is never a bad thing, especially if you're using him outside of faction crypts, and you build like a very tanky based comp with a lot of defense champions. His passive is pretty much an additional aura to whoever you have in lead. Now, we did ask some questions about this, so if you have a defensive aura lead champion, the defensive aura will be obviously over to him, and then his passive will kick in, so they kind of do stack in a way, which is actually really huge, especially if you're having trouble getting through Doom Tower and you have a lot of defensive based champions. He might be your go-to, just because he's going to bring an increased defense on top of his defense passive. And then if you have a defense aura, I mean, that's a lot of defense. So yeah, overall, really good kit, guys. I think all in all, I definitely think he will help in faction crypts where he's aimed to be. But I think in addition to that, I think just as a general use champion in dungeons and stuff like that, he could definitely help with progression. He brings that increased defense on his A2. He brings that guaranteed stun, which I'm guessing is going to be guaranteed once you book it, on his A2 as well. He's going to lower duration of buffs on anything, really, on waves or boss fights. And then you have that decreased attack on his A3, along with provokes for control if you are running into issues with waves on anything, really, dungeons or Doom Tower. And then his passive is kind of like a cherry on top, increasing everyone else's defense, which is survivability. Yeah, overall, I think this champion is great. I definitely think you guys should go for this Fragment Summon. I don't say that with a lot. The funny thing is like the Fragment Summons as of recently, that have recently gone on, you've had Elegaeus, which was a very niche type champion. You had to run into duplicates, which we have done in the Doom Tower, but for general use, he just hasn't been too good. You had Burgoth, once again, he was a general use champion, but not a lot of people were impressed with him. But I liked him a lot. And then you had which I don't have on here. You had Vergum Carr. Vergum Carr was a very niche fragment summon champion that was based upon people landing provokes on your team and stuff like that. So yeah, this fragment summon champion definitely not niche use. He has general use in every part of the game. I feel like. Even in PvP a little bit, to be honest, because he has that stun on the A2 along with increased defense for defensive based teams. And then he has the AoE provoke along with the increased defense there on his passive. So yeah, overall guys, I think this fragment summon is really good. If you are on a lower spending account and stuff, I think he could definitely help with progression. And I think he is definitely going to do well where he is meant to be, which is the Orc faction crypts. I think he's going to do wonders there, just because he's going to bring a lot of survivability. The decreased duration of all buffs could help on boss fights, depending on what bosses are within the Orc faction crypts. And then you have that provoke for the waves, along with the decreased attack. So overall, really good kit. Like I said, definitely think he's worth going for, but definitely let me know down in the comment section if you guys are actually thinking you're going to go for this fragment summon, if he's not really worthwhile in your opinion. I do think that there are probably people that do things, do his job better, but within the Orc faction crypt itself, I definitely think he is very unique in the way his kit is built. But yeah, a champion that brings increased defense, decreased attack, some CC with a stun and provokes. I mean, honestly, he has a lot of things going for him. So depending on his base stats and stuff like that and how books come out, I'm hoping they don't do exactly what they did with Pixneal and require a lot of books for this champion. But we'll Sorry guys, I almost died due to dry throat. So yeah, but anyways, like I said, I hope they don't do what they did with Pixneal and require this guy to have a lot of books. But we'll kind of see when he gets put into the game, and we'll kind of look at the index and kind of see where books are landing with him. Like I said, I think they will be landing in his A1, maybe to up that chance of decreasing duration of buffs. I definitely think his A2 is going to get books to get that stun to 100%. And I think the A3 maybe get a cooldown, but we're not exactly sure. So, yeah, like I said, let me know down in the comment section below what you think of this champion, if you guys will be going for him. Let me know what you guys think of the champion storage, if you guys think the 100 champion storage and the 300 accessories and artifact storage is enough. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys soon. See ya!